Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Paul with Forex Smart Trade. Glad you could be here. At Forex Smart Trade, our goal is to help you become the best version of yourself. And we do that by helping people become financially independent by teaching them to currency trade with our proprietary indicators and using company money. With that, let's get going. We're in the summer has finally started here in Boston. We've had a week of weather in the 80s and 90s, and I like that. This trade is for educational purposes only. All information given is speculative and involves risk. This trade should be examined and taken from a personal evaluation. All attendees agree that by watching that any trades he or she takes was of individual influence based on a personal evaluation of the market. This webinar's intention is to demonstrate a method that can be used to help make an evaluation of the current market. No past, present, or future incomes have been made or relied upon prior to or during this meeting. If you haven't referred a friend yet, please go ahead and do so that you can be part of the Thursday Tip Top Referral Trade. Which is on Thursdays at 11:30 in the afternoon. So it's a more convenient time for many, so you don't have to get up this early. And we're rotating the people who do it. This Thursday is Phil. Phil is a very, very good trader. He's been trading 3 years longer than I have, and he has some insights that are different than mine. The way you get good at this is by practicing, watching other good traders trade, and seeing what they do and mimicking it. So one of the nice things about our program is we do mentor you. We mentor you one-on-one, and we give you that insight to be able to trade successfully. There's nothing magical about it. I am not smarter than any of you guys. Only difference is I've been doing it a little bit longer. I've been doing it a little under 2 years, and I've learned to read the indicators. In the beginning, I blew up my first account, so it takes a little bit to kind of be able to see and read the indicator. With that, you should be attending until you're able to trade without, until you're able to trade generating 30 pips a day without assistance. You should be going to the sessions where we offer assistance. We've got plenty of live trade sessions. If you're not going to them, you should try to squeeze them in. I always used to attend. I don't attend as much anymore, but I actually will be at this Thursday's Tip Top Trade because I want to see what Phil does. See if I can pick up a thing or two from him. But there's the light on Mondays and Tuesdays, the LIT on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and at 10 p.m. on Mondays and Thursdays. Wednesday evening there's a member meeting for both light and advanced members, people who are into coaching and who have graduated coaching. You get the MIT at 10 in the morning, and everybody's got access to the AIT at 10 at night with Brett. Saturday 6 a.m. Saturday at 10 a.m. you've got Back to the Basics with Troy. And then Sunday, you got the Sunday afternoon trade with Dr. Z. Also, if you want additional trades, there's a paid session with Dale at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That used to be at 6. They moved it to a little bit later so they could find more opportunities to trade. All right, so we've got that. Let us... I like to trade off of a routine, even though I kind of have it in my head. I still like to have it printed out just like a pilot before he does his takes his plane up. He's got a checklist. He walks through the checklist and makes sure that everything is in order. So first, I'd like to review what we did last week. Last week we almost didn't find a trade. Let's see if we can just zero into last week real quick. Last week we didn't find it. Almost didn't find a trade. We've gone through all of our analysis, and then right at the end, a thick orange line trade popped up. We took it for five pips on the Euro AUD. Fundamental analysis. Actually, even before I do the review of yesterday's trade, I do like to check and make sure everything is current, that we're connected to the internet. Yes, I've got a big green bar up here. I know I'm current because I've got a little green box down here where the 30 is. If I wasn't current, this would be red, meaning I was back in time somewhere. I would go back in time if I wanted to back test. I also want to make sure my my CoinEx is current, and it is, because this number is bouncing around. Plus, I see down here in the corner I've got a connection. If I wasn't connected, it would say no connection. So everybody's current. I'm able to take a trade. Fundamental analysis. We want to see if there's any news. We are technical traders. As we are technical traders, we are trading against the price movement of the currency. When things affect the price, the normal price action movement of the currency, we want to know about it, and we want to stay out of the market at that time, because we can't predict how the news is going to impact things. So there is a news Forex calendar news feed at forexfactory.com. We go take a look, and they break it down. They break news items down into 3 items. Yellow is low impact, an orange is medium impact, and a red is high impact. You can see there's a bunch of high impacts on the euro, and those were at 3 a.m. this morning, 3:30 this morning Eastern time. So they've come and gone, and their impact on the euro has already been done. We look down through the rest of the day. There's a bunch of oranges on the euro and the pound. Again, all of these have gone. There's nothing until tonight with the NZD, so we don't have to worry about anything with respect to our trading this morning. So with that, now we will go into our technical analysis, and we are going to start with the 10-point trade. And then as it gets closer to the top of the hour, we'll see if there is any opportunities for a thick orange line trade. I like to use these 2 trades because this is what's was primarily been taught for the introductory people, and so that we can stay consistent with what they are learning. I primarily trade using the 10-point method, so it works pretty good for me. So we have got on our composite chart here, let's just start going through and taking a look. With the 10-point trade, I start with the majors and minors, and I am looking to be oversold or overbought. In this case, I am overbought. I've got everybody pointing down, both the majors and the minors, and I've got a double cross. So I have 3 points here. I have 1, 2 points. Then what I do is I'll bump up to the TNTs. I want to see how many lines are moving in the right direction that is consistent with what I'm seeing here. Now, in the majors and minors, what's the one thing that we don't like right off the bat? Yeah, that's right. This isn't quite as steep as I'd like. We've got all 3 points, but this isn't quite as steep. I'd like to see these lines steeper. They're kind of going sideways versus down. Like here on this thick orange line, he's going down pretty steep. I like that. So going up here to count how many lines I've got in the right direction, I've got the 2 orange lines going down, and I got the 2 blue lines going up. When blue goes up, that means down. So I got all 4 points here. 3 points here. Then I go to the pressure. I need at least 1 point on the pressure. I've got the pressure is going up, and it's a pretty strong up move. And I have got green on top, but red's about to cross. So I do not have a point here yet. Almost have a point, but I do not have a point here yet. So I'm going to hold off. The other reason I don't like it, again, is this isn't quite steep enough for me. So let's go on to the next one. Pound dollar. We are just about oversold, but the lines are pointing down. Australian US dollar overbought, lines pointing up, so there's nothing there. Dollar Swiss franc. Oversold, everybody's pointing up. In fact, the minors have already gone through the channel. Majors are just entering the channel. To me, that is okay as long as they haven't quite gotten halfway. What I'm looking for is I want to take the ride through the channel. I want to move all the way through the channel and get as many pips as there are. Going up to my TNTs, I've got the 2 orange lines going up, the 2 blue lines going down, so that is 4 points. So I've got 3 here, 4 here. I go down to my pressure, I've got down pressure, but I have green on top. So green on top is telling me I've got a point here, so I've got 8 points. Now that I have 8 points, the question is, what's this move worth? So I am going to open up USDCHF. USDCHF. I don't have one that's open, so I'm going to open up my yen, USD yen, and then I'm going to change them over to USDCHF. So I'm going to do a little bit more analysis. So once I have that signal, it's not enough by itself to take the trade. I need to get a little bit more information to decide if it's a good trade or not. So I right-click on chart settings. I'm going to open up a new chart. So that was USDCHF. Click apply. It changes all my charts because all my charts are linked. And then I'm going to rename this, save as, USDCHF. I put a little D next to it so that I know this chart's a daylight savings time chart. And let's see if we can get this so we can see it a little better. So first thing I want to know is where's my support and resistance? And I'm going to make it so I can see it a little tighter here. There we go. And I want to crunch it up. Now on a chart that I trade every day, I've done this. Right now we're only doing support and resistance off of 3 months of data. If it's on pairs that I trade, I go and I do this support and resistance off of the 10-year chart, so that the lines are kind of a little bit more precise. So what I'm going to do is to do my support and resistance, I want to go to a spot where the lines seem to bump. And by bump, you can see it came up to here, stopped, stopped, came up, stopped, came down, stopped, came down, stopped. On a 60-minute chart, which this is, these lines tend to be about 30 to 40 pips apart. So I am looking for these spots. Here we're at 60 to 81, that's only 20. We're bouncing in here. We're bouncing over here. I'm going to take one below. Huh. You know what? Let's just try this again. I like this spot a little bit better, even though it's only 20. Right in here. Take one up above. Again, we're stopping in here. Stopped right in here. So now I've got the support and resistance in. I want to see where we are in relation to the support and resistance. So we are sitting right on a resistance line, right below a resistance line. I want to know what the trend is. Over the last 2 days, day and a half, we are in a downtrend. Now let's go back and take a look. So going up, I really have no movement. Going down, I have 22 pips going down. Now, if we go back and take a look, we have an up signal. Up. The 2-hour chart is going up. I've got green on top. I am showing 2 of the 4 here saying up. I got sideways pressure on the 30. Majors and minors are going up. I've got a little bit of pullback here on the 5-minute. But my issue right now on this chart is we're sitting right on top of a resistance line. I don't want to take a buy trade when we're right under here. I may consider a pending trade, but right now nobody wants to take a pending trade. You guys want to take a real trade. You want to take a trade that's going to close. So right now I'm going to hold off because I am sitting on this resistance line. It needs to break that resistance line before I go ahead and take this trade. So we've got up, 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 but we need to break. We need to break out of. We need to break through here. So I'm going to hold off. So let's keep going and see what else we've got. USDJPY. We're overbought, oversold, but we're going sideways here. Again, I like steepness here. USD Canadian, oversold. We've got everybody going up. 2 on the TNTs going up. 2 blues going down, so I got 4 here, but I got sideways pressure with red on top. So the pressure isn't good. And then the other thing you could have already told me is that, hey, this guy isn't very steep. The majors are he's not really committed. And we've had this down and up little movement here. I don't like that. So I'm gonna stay away. So going on to our next chart, we have got Euro Pound. We're overbought. We're going down. I really don't have the double cross here on the minors, so I'm going to pass. Australian yen, we're just reaching the overbought, and everybody's going up. Euro Canadian, we are oversold. Overbought. I'm sorry, I keep getting it wrong here. But we've got this little kink in the line. Everybody's going down. Again, the steepness isn't quite what I want. We get this little kink in the line that bugs me a little bit. 2 oranges going down, dotted blue going up. So I've got 3 here. I've got up pressure with red on top. So Euro Canadian, I've got 7 points. Let's go ahead and take a look at the full chart. So take a look at the full chart, save. I'm pretty sure I haven't. I'm going to just chart settings. I'm going to change this to Euro Canadian. Now, one of the things, you can't wish a trade to happen. You've got to really be confident in the signal. So you'll see if it's an almost signal, I don't need the trade. I only need 4 or 5 trades a day to make money. So if I don't like it for whatever reason, I'm going to pass. I'm going to wait till I find what I want. What do we do here? So we'll do save as. And first thing is we want to take a look at our support and resistance. If I right click here, I go to move the scale. Oops. Interactive scale, so I can tighten this up to make it a little tighter. And then I'm going to crunch it up so I can see the spots. Take my horizontal line. This is a nice one. Bumps here, bumps in here, bumps in here, bumps in here. So 22 to 75, that's a little bit much. 22 to 63, we'll do this one. We're getting touching here. Got a little touching here, a little touching here. Touching over here. Touching all in here. Touching over here. Touching over here. All right, so we've got support and resistance. We don't really have much of a trend for the last week. Pretty much, it's been sideways. It's broke a little bit, came back, and now it's bumped up into this channel. So let's see. So we can see it a little bit better. So we're looking at a buy. No, we're looking at a sell. So again, we're sitting pretty close to our resistance line. Take my chart calculator, take a look. It's only 5 pips. I am going to, what happened here? I'm going to hold, I don't like this one either. Why don't I like it? Because I've got the bend in this line. As I look on the 120, I got very steep up pressure, very steep up pressure, sideways pressure on the 30. I've got green crossing over on the 5-minute, telling me that we're going to have a little push up. But this little bump here, I don't like it. And if I'm taking a 10-point trade, I am generally looking for a minimum of 10 pips. 10 pips is my sweet spot. You know, if it was 8 maybe, but for 5 pips, it's not worth it to me. But you need to develop your own kind of sweet spot. You know, my wife Eileen bangs out 3 to 5 pips, and she'll do 80 trades a day. To me, I don't have the patience to do that, but it's what works for you. So we're getting to the top of the hour. Let's see if we've got a 5 thick orange line trade. Thick orange line trade is we're looking for 0 or minus 100 on this thick orange line number, or within 10 points of either. So 78 isn't close enough, 83 isn't close enough, 50 isn't close enough, minus 10 is close enough. But when I have minus 10, the way I like to do this trade is I look for confirmation. I want multiple indicators, because each of these indicators measures something different. I want something else telling me that, yeah, we've indeed maxed out. This is at 0. That's telling us we don't believe there's any more up in the movement. Down here, my majors and minors, my minors have kind of gone through the channel, but my majors are down under the red. I want these lines up here to tell me that we're overbought and about to turn. So I don't have that. Minus 30, no. Minus 27, no. Euro pound, minus 31, nope. Australian yen, minus 57, no. EURCAD, minus 83, not close enough. Australian New Zealand, minus 1, yes. And all 4 lines above, and well above, so I like this. Only thing I don't like is it's the end of the day in New Zealand, but let us, what else we got? Euro Australian is minus 91. I like this guy. Let's go ahead and take him for 5 pips. So I pull up my chart. I need to open up the chart, AUD, NZD. So to do that, I am going to go to File, New Chart, and I look for AUD, NZD, not in the first group. I go to the second group. I don't see him in there. I go to the third group. AUD, NZD, there he is. I open him up. I don't like the way this screen looks, so I have some templates. I'm going to change it to one that I like. I go to the second row, New Order. I check my symbol, AUD, NZD. I check my volume. My account size is 8,100. This is a demo account. I'm going to move my decimal spot over 4 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can take a 0.81 as an appropriate lot size. We said this was a sell. So market execution sell. It records the transaction right underneath. I am going to highlight it. When it records it, it says what we did: sell, size, pair, price. But we've got to tell it what we want for we need to tell the broker what we want for a stop loss and take profit. So to do that, I'm going to right click on the line, go to modify. It remembers what we did last time, and it will do the math for me. So I'm going to put in 50. 50 points equals 5 pips. And for now, we're going to use 200 for our stop loss, 4 times what our take profit is. This trade is good roughly 90% of the time, a little over 90% of the time. The only thing I want to double check is I want to get my full 5 pips. So if I got in at 1.06794, the pip is this 9. If I am taking a sell for 5 pips, I'm going to go to 744. So 744, I'm going to just change this number, 744. Pop them in. And it is showing me, so I can see my stop loss, I can see my take profit. So we're good. If we wait till let's see, those who are a little more purist, you see at the top of the hour. If I go back to the top of the hour, we were at 0. Some people like to wait till the clock changes and see that this number changes by 10. It didn't quite change by 10. Changed a little less than 10. So some people would wait and not take this trade right now. I think we will be okay, you know, within the next couple hours that will close. We got a couple questions. Let's take a look. Does the cross of the major and minor indicator on the 10-point have to happen in the last hour? I like it to happen within the last 30 minutes. So once we're 30 minutes into a 1-hour chart, to me that's enough. That there's enough formed in the signal for it to be a good trade. Some traders like to wait really right till the top of the hour to see that, but I found that if I'm 30 minutes into an hour chart, it works often enough for me to be happy with it. Gary mentioned there's a huge spread on the AUD NZD. Yes, there is. So we'll probably end up netting about 3 pips. That's one of the reasons I do not like the AUD NZD. And what he means by a huge spread is, if we take a look at the sell price is 81, the buy price is 83. So that is almost 2 pips. So we're giving the broker 2 pips to take this trade, and we're taking a 5-pip trade. So almost half of the trade is going for commission to the broker. Whereas if you look at, say, the Euro USD, it's 1 point, 2 points is the spread. So we're barely paying anything to the broker on the trade. So another reason why I like trading the Euro USD versus the AUD NZD. You end up, you know, you're not making as much as you would on a normal trader. You're giving the broker like way more. And the reason for that difference is that the volume isn't as good. So the way the broker makes his money, not doing large volume, they jack up the spread a little bit. And you'll notice that this spread gets jacked up right around 5 p.m. Eastern time at night, right before they close. They switch over the day to do the next day. While they're doing that new counting for the previous day, they jack those spreads up. So like you might see a 4 or 5 pip spread on the Euro USD. It doesn't come back down till about 6 o'clock. That's why I send out my trade after 6 o'clock when the spread has come back down to 2, 3, 4 points. All right, gang. Thank you. We'll see you next week. Any other questions?